Max is making his way up. If you see a slobbering pit bull, don't worry, it's just Max. Hey guys, it's Megan and welcome back to my channel. As you can see from the title, this is going to be a CD collection video. If any of you know me, then you know how much I love music. Over the years, ever since I was little, I have collected CDs. Some of them are missing. I don't know what happened to them. They might be at my dad's house. They might have been thrown out by a mistake. I don't know. But I do have quite the collection over here. So I figured why not make a video out of it, because I do love collecting CDs, especially from my favorite artists. If you guys are interested, please keep watching. Make sure to like and subscribe. Let's just get right into this video. So if only I can like show you guys. You can kind of see it over here. I probably have like 20 or so CDs sitting on my bed right now. Someone did request this months ago and I thought that it was a cool video idea. I know the whole vinyl collections and everything is popular. I don't have many vinyls. The only ones I have is my Taylor one and my Ariana one, so maybe one day I'll have a vinyl collection, but in the meantime, I have CDs. I still buy CDs. I still listen to CDs in my car. I love the fact that my car has a CD player. And again, for my favorite artists, I just love to collect CDs. I think it's just a really cool way to show your support for the artists that you like. I'm just gonna get right into it. So the first one, I'm not going to show you it because it's hanging up on my wall and I forgot to take it down. It's just too much of a hassle if I go and grab it right now. But I have a signed Folklore CD and I also have a signed Position CD, and it's just hanging up on my little Ariana wall right now and it looks so perfect. The autographs literally look perfect next to each other because my Folklore CD is like signed right in the top right corner. My Position CD is signed in the top left corner, so you can see them perfectly. It's perfect. I think I'm gonna go into my Taylor CDs just because that's what I have the most of. Let me try to do this all in one swoop, okay? Honestly, my crazy ass is like, oh, this isn't too much, but it's kind of a lot for one artist. These are all my Taylor Swift CDs. Are we shocked? Probably not. Oh, I'm missing one. We can't forget about Debut. So I have my Debut CD over here, and then I have the Lover books over here, and then I have the Reputation magazines over here, and these are all my Taylor Swift CDs. Yeah, I'm just gonna go through these one by one and just explain them all to you. I'm sure you already know what they are. I'm just gonna do it. But I need to make sure that I don't break these because that would not be good. I need Debut. Where is she? When Taylor releases the re-records of all of these albums this year, I'm so excited. Like, I cannot wait. If she releases them in physical copies, I will have them. Why wouldn't I? I'm so excited for the re-records. Which album, if you're a Swiftie, which album are you most excited to hear re-recorded? For me, I know that I'm literally gonna bawl my eyes out when I hear Fearless and Speak Now, because those are like my two children. I love those albums. When I hear those, I'm literally gonna like combust. The first CD I have is the self-titled Taylor Swift album. This is her first album. It was released in 2006. This is kind of like the bonus track album. It has all the way up from Tim McGraw to the pop version of Teardrops, and then it also has the Tim McGraw and Teardrops music videos. I wish people would stop hating on Taylor's debut album. My favorites off of the album is definitely The Outside. That's always been one of my all-time favorite Taylor songs. Mary's Song is also one of my all-time favorites. I adore that song. It's so good. I also really love Our Song and Should Have Said No, and Probably a Place in This World. I remember like growing up, that was like one of my all-time favorite Taylor songs. The cover is just really cute. I can't wait to see like what she does with the new covers. I love her debut album and I wish people would talk about it more, not hate on it. Obviously, going in order, the next album we have is Fearless. This album is honestly one of my all-time favorites ever. Like, I love this album so much. Fearless is always going to be a very special album to me. I always say about how special it is to me because it's the album that made me a Taylor fan. I have like significant like memories with like Love Story and You Belong With Me because it kind of reminds me of the time when I moved to the town that I live in now. I'm very nostalgic and that's part of the reason why I love this album so much. There's a lot of good memories attached to this album, and it's actually say the first album that I remember going to the store and buying with like my own money. I remember going to the store with my dad. He was like, well, what do you want to get? And when I first moved to the town that I live in, my cousins now, they were big Taylor fans, and they were listening to Fearless once in the car, and I remember Forever and Always was the song that I really liked, and I remember going to the store and seeing the Fearless album, and I was like, you know what, I really like the songs when they were playing the album, so I'm gonna get it. And I remember I went back to my dad's house. I had a little stereo player where I could like just blast my music in my room. I love this photo shoot so much. It's just so cute. I just love that picture of her and the CD. I remember I was literally blasting this CD. I was reading the lyrics. Fearless is a very special and nostalgic album to me. I love that album. I'm literally going to burst into tears when I hear it re-released. The Fearless era was definitely one to never forget. Again, we're going in order. The next album I have is Speak Now, and one of my all-time favorite albums. I can never choose a favorite album with Taylor for some reason. Like with Ariana, I have like my favorite albums ranked and everything. Like I have my albums. I know which ones I like the most from her, but I can never really choose. Really depends on my mood, I guess. It's definitely top 3 material for me. This album is also another really special one to me. I played it front to back all the time. It's a little bit cracked. I don't know if you can tell, but there's a little bit of a crack in there. The photo shoot for the Speak Now album is my favorite. I will say, I remember at the moment I was very mad at my friend for this, but one of my friends in middle school, she thought it was the Target edition. She broke the CD, but whatever, it's fine. It is what it is. I love the CD cover. This picture of her I have always absolutely loved. Before I forget, my favorite songs on Fearless are the song Fearless, The Way I Loved You. No one ever talks about that song. I love that song. You're Not Sorry, Tell Me Why. And then my favorites off of Speak Now are definitely Sparks Fly, Dear John. I'm not gonna lie, I love All Too Well, but like it's definitely like my favorite track 5. Enchanted, that was my favorite Taylor song for the longest time. Haunted is such a good song, and Long Live, and there's just so many good songs on this album. And then the next album we have is the Red album. Again, this is one of my all-time favorite Taylor albums. I love the Red album. No album hits better during autumn than the Red album by Taylor Swift. Literally, during the fall time on Instagram and on Twitter, you will see me reference this album many times. It's the only album that plays consistently in my car from like the middle of August to the beginning of November. Like it's such a good album. I will say when it first came out, it wasn't really my favorite at the time because I couldn't really relate to it. It wasn't until I got older and I started to understand what she was saying more that I really started to love the album. Favorites on the album: All Too Well, obviously. I Almost Do, obviously. Treacherous is one of Taylor's best songs. 22 I get to blast on August 2nd this year because the bitch is finally turning 22. The Lucky One I love. Holy Ground, Begin Again, The Moment I Knew, Come Back, Be Here. There's so many good songs on this album. I love this album so much. So yeah, the Red album, it's gold. Oh, it's red, but like it's gold. It's so good. I really hope that she puts on Better Man and Babe because I want to hear it. Taylor, if you're watching this, put Better Man and Babe on their new Red release, please. For me, Babe is like one of my all-time favorite Taylor songs, and I love Sugarland's version of it, but I need a Taylor solo version. On to the next one, the ever so iconic 1989 album. Again, this is the Target Deluxe version. This is the version with the Polaroids. Back then, this is when I truthfully really loved the 1989 album. I will say it's kind of low on my rankings, not because I think it's a bad album or anything, but for some reason I just never listened to it. I don't know what it is. The 1989 era is always going to be iconic. It's definitely Taylor's most iconic album. I'll show you guys some of the Polaroids. There's this one. Welcome to New York, I think that one is. Which one is this? Is this Blank Space? Yep. See, I looked at these so much that I remember it. You look like my next mistake. This was obviously like the Blank Space one. This one I remember was like my favorite in the pack when I first got the album. The 1989 album obviously has many iconic songs. The tour was a lot of fun. On that tour, I got to see Taylor from the floor, and it was really cool. I was at Gillette Stadium because that's where I always see Taylor, and it was just so much fun. And she brought MKTO out to my show, and at the time I was obsessed with them, and I literally like fell down when they were announced. I was so excited. Favorites off of 1989. Style, Out of the Woods. How You Get the Girl. People hate on How You Get the Girl, and I'll never understand. It's so cute. It's such a bop. It's so good. Stop hating on How You Get the Girl. And then the next one we have is the other iconic pop album. This is Reputation, one of Taylor's best albums. No one has had a more iconic comeback, in my opinion, than Taylor Swift. This album is so good. And the Reputation Stadium tour, I miss it so much. I freaking love the Reputation era. The Reputation era was so much fun. I wish we could go back. There's so many iconic songs on here, like Ready for It, Endgame, I Did Something Bad. Like, are you kidding me? Don't Blame Me. Bitch. So It Goes, Look What You Made Me Do. That's still Taylor's best music video. Getaway Car is literally my all-time favorite Taylor song. Well, it might be another one. Dancing with Our Hands Tied, This Is Why We Can't Have Nice Things, Call It What You Want. This album has so many good songs. And I'm not going to go through these because you can see pictures online and everything, but I do have the Reputation magazines. These are part of the Target editions. This one is my personal favorite one. Each magazine had a CD inside. My mom has the other CD for her car. I don't look at the magazines much anymore, but when the CDs first came out, I did. I love the Reputation era. That's all I gotta say. The next album I have is the Lover album. I have an entire vlog on my channel where I went with my friends. We went to Target and we got some of the deluxe editions. This is actually in my Me CD, so I do have Me, the single, on CD. When it was first released, Taylor was doing the signed booklets, but it turned into a signed Lover booklet. I have a whole unboxing of my channel of that. I now have all 4 of the deluxe editions. I actually heard this album for the first time since before Folklore came out. This album is so good, and I hate how much hate this album gets because it really doesn't deserve as much hate as people give it. I really feel like it's such a better album. I think it's because of the lead single. Everyone hated the lead single for some reason. I thought it was fun. I thought it was cute, but not everyone thought that. People started to hate the album already because of that. I will say this is definitely one of the albums where the track list is very all over the place. Even when the album first came out, I was like, this has many weird tracks. Like, not weird tracks, but like the tracks are all over the place. For example, she goes from Lover to The Man, but then she goes to The Archer to I Think He Knows, which is kind of like a weird transition in my opinion. But then the one that kills me every single time, she goes from London Boy to Soon You'll Get Better, which is a song about her mom's sickness, and then she goes into False God. I won't explain what False God is about, but you can read the lyrics and you'll figure out what it's about. It's just one of those weird things where I feel like it's not very like cohesive. I love this album, I really do. My favorites are still Cruel Summer. I still love the song Lover, Miss Americana, Cornelia Street, I Am a Track 9 Ho, so Afterglow is the perfect Ariana collab. I'm so mad that they didn't collab for that song. Taylor Swift and Ariana Grande should have collabed for Afterglow. Something I will stand by for the rest of my life. I had this whole album playing in my car for months and I did not get tired of it. It's such a good car album. Y'all need to stop hating on Lover, please. We're getting to the end, thank God. Well, the end of the Taylor album. We still have more to go. So the next album of Taylor's is obviously Folklore, and if you don't know, Folklore is the album that came out in July of 2020. First surprise release of 2020 from Taylor. Literally, it was like 8 a.m. I randomly woke up and I checked my phone and I get Taylor's notifications whenever she posts on Instagram. I like looked at my phone and all I saw was like Taylor Swift posted a photo, Taylor Swift posted a photo. Looking at it, I'm like, what is she doing? And then 5 minutes later she posts that she's releasing an album at midnight and I'm like, what? It was kind of like a birthday gift to me because my birthday was like the following week, and I'll mention it again. I was supposed to see Taylor last year the day before my 21st birthday. She was at Gillette Stadium for Loverfest. I got tickets and everything. Didn't happen, so I was really sad about it, but the album kind of made up for it. Folklore is not my favorite Taylor Swift album. It's an amazing album, it's just I'm never in the mood to listen to it, but I have an insane amount of copies of this album. A little too much, to be honest. Like, I look at this and I'm like, Meghan, you're insane. I have the signed copy. Then I also have 4 other copies, so I'll just show you them. First one we have, this is the In the Trees version. I got this one at Target. I wanted the experience to go into store and buy it, so I got it from Target. This one over here is the Betty's Garden version. This is honestly my favorite album cover because I'm crazy and my birthday was coming up. I wanted multiple covers. My friend Kaylee got this cover for me and I honestly love it. This is like one of my all-time favorite pictures of her. I don't know. I have a whole vlog unboxing this one. I have a whole separate video for unboxing this one, which is the Meet Me Behind the Mall version. This is the version that I bought for myself when she announced Folklore. This is the, oh, this is where I put my Me CD. What a trip. Literally, imagine opening a Folklore CD and seeing a Me CD in there. This is the hide and seek version. This is the version that my mom got me for my birthday. And this is the version that they were talking about where apparently Woodvale is in the corner. I never really noticed it, and to be honest, I don't even know if that's like legit because I can't see anything. Maybe I just look like a clown on the internet, but it's fine. Some of my favorite songs on there. The One is really good. Cardigan, obviously. Exile, which Joe Alwyn really did something when he wrote the first verse. My Tears, Ricochet, and Mirrorball are kind of overrated. But we're gonna ignore that comment. August is probably my all-time favorite on this album, as well as Illicit Affairs. Invisible String is so cute. I love that song. And Betty, I love Betty. Betty is like one of my favorite songs on Folklore. I love that song. And then the last Taylor album, Jesus Christ. I spent 40 minutes talking about Taylor Swift albums. Maybe I'll make this like 2 parts. So the last Taylor album I have is obviously Evermore. So Folklore came out July 2020. December 2020, Taylor decided to release Evermore, which is the sister album of Folklore, and honestly, Evermore is one of my all-time favorite Taylor albums. I was so happy with the production on this album. Champagne Problems is probably like my all-time favorite Taylor song. I love that song. 'Tis the Damn Season, amazing. Nobody No Crime. I need a music video for that song. Ivy is like really good. Tolerate It is one of my all-time favorite track 5s. Gold Rush. The entire album is just so good. One of these nights I'm gonna listen to Taylor's entire discography one by one and see which album I like the best. All of her albums have very special meanings to me. We are finally done with the Taylor album. Thank God. I might just show you guys my Ariana CDs and then we'll do a part 2 where I show you guys everything else. Only because this video is going to be so long. Hopefully you guys are into that. I'm going to show you guys my Ariana CDs now so that we can get those out of the way. This is a much shorter stack compared to the Taylor CDs. This past year, actually, I finally collected all of Ariana's CDs. I'm going to go one by one. And I always had the opportunity to buy Yours Truly and My Everything, but for some reason I never really did. Thank God for Mercari. Mercari is the app that's similar to Poshmark, and during COVID I really wanted Yours Truly and My Everything CD, and I finally found them. I will show you guys right now. Here is my Everything CD. The CD, literally, it looks so pretty. Like, this is the back of it and it just looks so pretty and so like pastel and everything. Like, it's just so beautiful on the inside. I love the Yours Truly album. It honestly is like up there on my favorite albums of hers. I just think it's a really great first album for someone, and I love the booklet. Like, when I got this, I had never really seen the booklet before besides like pictures from back when the album was first released. It just like looks so pretty on the inside. Like, what? My jaw literally dropped when I saw this. I will say it's definitely been amazing watching Ariana's career really grow and like get to where she is right now, because I have literally been supporting her since Victorious, and I really started to like stan her since the Yours Truly era. There's an account on Twitter that I follow. It's like Throwback Not Ariana or something, where it's like all of her posts from past years. I just like look at it and I'm like, I literally remember when she posted that. It's been amazing to watch her grow and everything. My favorites on this album are always going to be Honeymoon Avenue, Tattooed Heart, of course. I've always loved Piano, Daydreaming. When the album first came out, You'll Never Know was my favorite. But yeah, there's so many good songs on this album. When I saw Ariana for the very first time, she actually sang Better Left Unsaid, and it was really, really good. Like, I loved it. So this is my Everything CD. I don't know if you can really tell from the cover. This is actually the Target version. Again, I did not buy this album in stores. I could have if I wanted to, but for some reason I just didn't. Thankfully, I found someone selling the My Everything Target version for a reasonable price on Mercari. I don't know how. I was literally searching the app non-stop all day, all night. Whenever I had a break, like I was always on Mercari trying to find a Target version of My Everything. And the reason why I really wanted the Target version is because Cadillac Song is literally one of my all-time favorite Ariana songs, top 5 in her discography. I don't care what anyone says. No one ever talks about Cadillac Song, and it's literally one of her best songs. It's so good. It was probably a month or so of searching on Mercari literally every single day. I found it, and I think I did pay a lot of money for this, and I felt kind of guilty for it. I spent like $23 on this on a used CD, but it was worth it because the CD does work and it has one of my favorite songs on it. I love My Everything, but this is my least favorite Ariana album for the reason that the track list is a whole ass mess. No album actually bothers me if it has a messy track list, but this one does for some reason. Intro is absolutely beautiful, but then it goes straight into Problem and it just doesn't sound right. And then you go into One Last Time. If anything, I feel like she could have gone like from Intro to One Last Time and then Problem. I just feel like Problem is so out of place. Oh, she goes from Just a Little Bit of Your Heart to Hands on Me, and then she goes from Hands on Me to My Everything. That's what bothers me. Like, that transition is just so weird. I don't know. I mean, that's just my opinion. It's just always been very messy to me. Maybe that was the intent for Ariana, but it always bothered me. That's why My Everything is always at the bottom of my ranks. There's many songs on there that I actually love. Like One Last Time, I love that song. Again, Intro, I love the intro. The intro to My Everything is honestly one of my favorites. Why Try? Ariana hates on Why Try. She thinks it's boring. I love Why Try. Best Mistake, literally one of my favorites. Be My Baby, and Cadillac Song. Those are like my favorites on this album. I really love Cadillac Song. And obviously to the next album is Dangerous Woman. I love the Dangerous Woman album. I remember when she released the Dangerous Woman website, and like that's how she announced the single and everything. Dangerous Woman is still top 3 material for me. I love this album dearly. It is one of my favorites. This is actually the Target version, but I remember for a long time I was really upset whenever I went into Target trying to find the CD because there was supposed to be a different cover for the Target version. They never had it at my store. I don't know why, but they do have the bonus song, so I guess it's not too bad. Dangerous Woman, the song, that is a song that I will never get tired of hearing her sing live. Like, I'm never getting over it. I've been really into You lately. I kind of got bored of it and then I started to love it again. But Side to Side is another song that I will never get tired of hearing. I want Ariana to sing it at every single show that she ever does. Let Me Love You is so good. Sometimes was my original first favorite when this album first came out. Bad Decisions, Touch It, another one that Ariana thinks is boring. Whatever. I really love the Dangerous Woman era. The Dangerous Woman era, the Sweetener era, and Dangerous Woman, those are my 2 favorite eras. Nothing beats it for me. I love it. And then the next album I have over here is obviously Sweetener. I freaking love this album. This is my favorite Ariana album. I don't give a what any of you think. I love this album so much. When the album first dropped, it wasn't my favorite. I was still Team Dangerous Woman. I was still like, you know, whatever. But the more that time went by, all these songs still sound so fresh. Every time I listen to Sweetener, it still sounds brand new. And I know everyone hates this album because it's very like experimental and it doesn't sound right with the production and everything. It's just such a good album. Sweetener has some of her best songs on it. The skips on here are definitely Blazed. I skip Blazed all the time. I do skip The Light Is Coming sometimes. I skip Borderline a lot, and I'm not even kidding, that's it. Like, it's just those 3 songs that I skip. If those 3 songs were off, then it would be an amazing album. Get Well Soon is my healing song. Sweetener is always gonna be my favorite. The Platinum Hair needs to make a comeback. I love Rem. I love God Is a Woman. I love Every Time. That was my favorite when the album first came out. No Tears Left to Cry. I love Better Off. I love Good Night and Go. I love Get Well Soon. This album is a masterpiece. And if you don't agree, then you're wrong. And then next we have Thank You Next, another iconic album. And again, I love this album. Thank You Next, Sweetener, Dangerous Woman are my top 3. You guys are gonna be mad at me for my positions ranking. But it's really sad to me that like people make their best work when they're hurting. But that really was the case with Ariana. I love the Thank You Next album. Literally one of my all-time favorite albums. It's just so good, you know, it's just so simple and beautiful. And I'm really mad that she got snubbed at the Grammys for this album. I really fully believed that Thank You Next deserved Album of the Year, and it still makes me mad. Imagine, I Need You are so beautiful, Bloodline is so good, Seven Rings, I don't care. I still bop to that song all the time. In my head, literally one of her all-time best songs. I hope that she doesn't ditch these songs though whenever she can tour again. Like, I hope that one day she can still sing Thank You Next and, you know, feel okay. And then the last album that I will talk about, because I talked for way too long, is Positions. And I made an entire vlog of me listening to the single Positions and the album Positions. And again, I also have a signed Positions CD. It is hanging up on my wall. I do love this album. I think I have to give it another chance. It's been a while since I've listened to it all the way through. I'm gonna say something. You guys aren't gonna like me. It's probably like my second to last favorite album by Ariana. Like, if I had to do a ranking, it would be Sweetener, Thank You Next, Dangerous Woman, Yours Truly, Positions, my everything. It's not my favorite, but that's okay. Not every single new album that your favorite artist released has to be your favorite, and I wish more people understood that. It's very sonically cohesive, so it's the exact opposite of my everything. 3435 I still listen to all the time. Just Like Magic, I really think that now that Biden is in office, he should make Just Like Magic the new official national anthem. I love that song. I can't wait for the day that she plays that live. Safety Net is so beautiful. I love that song. Nasty, iconic. Positions and Obvious, those are my favorite, and Point of View, but if I'm gonna be honest, TikTok kind of ruined that song for me. So those are my favorites off Positions. It's still a beautiful album. I still love it. At the current moment, it's not my favorite, but it's still great and I still love it. This is iconic too because it was a surprise release. Ariana and Taylor literally saved 2020 for me. Conveniently, one of you guys actually asked me for a updated Taylor and Ariana collection video, so this is the closest I can give to you guys. I think I'm gonna do a part 2 of my favorite CDs if you guys are still interested in that. It's gonna be way too long of a video if I keep going through all these. So if you guys enjoyed, make sure to like and subscribe. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed my little stories that I gave with each album and like my favorite songs and everything. I will continue with part 2 of this video on another day. Maybe I'll post something in the middle and then I'll post the next one, but I do hope that you guys enjoyed, and I will see you all in my next video.